I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Shalom, Barak Kal Akim of the Hopeful Elect Sincere Brothers. Apostle Ricard back with another little impromptu video. Okay, the name of this video is called The Big Payback. And that's ironic because, excuse me, years ago, back in the 90s, we used to do videos, man. We've been doing like this for us, speaking of myself and the other apostles and the other elders, the top elders of Connecticut. We've been doing this, man. That's why I like doing videos, and no problem for us, bro, because we've been doing this, man. Back before the internet, back before, you had the phones. You can go on your phones. We had to do it. For us, it was harder. We had to do it the hard way. Okay, we didn't have no phones, camera phones, man. See, we remember that. They call us old school guys. Yeah, we old school guys. Like, shit, I didn't get my first cell phone until like 2001, and that was like one of them prepaid joints. One of my aunts had brought me a cell phone. You know what I mean? And back then, those phones, you couldn't go. There was no going on Facebook or YouTube or the internet. They were just phones. All you could do was make phone calls with them. And that's going back to the early 2000s. Yeah, now technology, Esau's technology didn't advance, and the Most High really gave Esau the spirit to create this technology, because the Lord knew eventually that's how the word was going to spread. That's how we do our videos. Everything was on your damn phone now. But back then, in the 90s, and even in the 80s, shit, forget about the 90s. Before I came in the 80s, when Apostle Tahar first came in back in One West, and the other elders, our original elders, King Marshal, Happy Sarian, Yaquab, and them, there was no cell phones, or nobody had no cell. If anything, maybe beepers, but they did videos because we got the footage. How else would we have the old footage? There's old footage on YouTube of High Priest Yaquab speaking on 125th Street. Back then, you had to actually go. You had to go somewhere and buy a camera, or you had to go to the cable network place, and we used to have to actually rent the cameras, and it was expensive. It wasn't cheap, but the Spirit made it where it was affordable for that we were able to. This was back in the 90s, but even back in the 80s. The elders back then, they probably had to go rent to whatever video place and rent cameras, or maybe they got the money up and they was able to buy maybe one camera, and that's the old camcorders, the whole big heavy camcorder camera, and you had to stand, you had to sit it on the stand, and then you record it, and it was on a cassette, and then once you recorded it, you had brothers that was savvy with that. They had to transfer it from that onto another tape, and then you had to go. You used to have to actually go to the cable company and what they call it. I forgot how it's called. Download it. You know what I mean? Onto another cassette, and then you handed it into them, and they would air. Because back then it was called public access. Back in the 80s and the 90s, you had what was called public access channel, meaning anybody could do a video. Because we were putting videos up there, but then you had other maniacs and doing all kind of crazy videos. You had Edomites putting their videos up there. You had people that had shows on public access, and those shows were filmed live though, but ours was pre-recorded. Okay, so even back in the 90s, even in New York and Connecticut, that's how we did all the brothers that was in One West. Everybody did videos, but you had to actually rent the camera. The camcorder. But I know, speaking of which, getting to the point, back when we was in Connecticut in the mid 90s, with myself and Apostle Gabar and Apostle Tahar, we were going up to Connecticut, and we were teaching those brothers up there, and we had the actual school, actual building up there in Connecticut on Fairfield Avenue, and the elders of Connecticut, as you brothers know, that's when they were coming up under us, and we were just doing we were always in this spirit. Because even back then, we were just doing videos, man. Apostle Tahar would come up, and that's back. We were still, even when we were still connected with One West. Because I remember, as a matter of fact, speaking of which, Apostle Tahar used to come up and myself, Apostle Gabar. This is when we were still living in New York. Myself and Apostle Gabar, we used to come along. Apostle Tahar would bring us up, and we would go up to Connecticut to teach with them brothers up there, the elders of Connecticut. And a lot of the times, you know who used to be with us? Nathaniel, Nate himself. He used to come along, and there was another guy named Yaasha. And some of you older school brothers will remember him, the big, heavy-set, light-skinned guy. He used to have the whip. He was a good speaker and all that. He was one of the top generals, top guys. We used to be close with them guys back then. Yaasha used to have that Jeep. We used to all pile up in Yaasha's Jeep, and we would drive up to Connecticut. And we would get to Connecticut, and because Yaasha, I think, he actually owned the camera. Because, he had a good job. He was a damn CO. He was a cop, basically. So Yaasha would come up with the camera, and that's all we did, because Apostle Tahar and Yaasha had a show, and I believe the name of that show was I'm gonna get it right. The Big Payback. Yeah, that was the name of their show. The Big Payback. That was Apostle Tahar and Yaasha's show. The Big Payback. This is back when we were still in the early '90s in One West, right? And the show, it was on public access that means back then there was no YouTube and Facebook and none of that shit. It was just, you had cable. At that point, everybody had cable TV. So the public access channel, different people could put videos. So we put our videos up there, right? And their show became so popular, Apostle Tahar and, like I said, back then, the guy Yaasha, their show became so popular that people in Canada heard about it. And at one point, Apostle Tahar and Yaasha, the people in Canada, it was a show. I believe the name of it was an Edomite woman that had a talk show. Because in the early '90s, that was the whole big thing, the talk show craze. So even people in Canada had talk. Here in America, you had Jerry Springer, you had Richard Bay, Non-Broadcast Plaza, the Morton Downey Jr., going back from the 80s. The 80s, that was the talk show era, the 80s and the 90s. And then you had Sally Jesse Raphael, the Jenny Jones show. Then you had my man, this dude, what's his face? I forget his name. The old Edomite. He used to be on A Current Affair, but right now his name is escaping me. Okay, Maury Povich, I believe, right? So all them talk shows. But anyways, there was an Edomite woman up there in Canada. I believe her name was the Apostle Tahar would know. I'm trying to think of the damn name. The Shirley Show. I believe that was her name. The Shirley Show or something like that. And because Apostle Tahar and Yaasha's show was so popular that the people in Canada heard about it. Apostle Tahar still has the cassette of it. And they got invited to come up to Canada. People paid for them to come up there. And they put Apostle Tahar and Yaasha on the show, like with this Gadite brother and a couple of other Edomites and some other Amalekites and some other people, right? And the show was so popular that I believe the news, one of the news networks, they came down to the camp to interview us. I believe, the fake news networks. But anyways, back then, the Lord had gave us a little amount of fame back then in the 90s because our videos were on public access. Okay, and the reason I'm speaking so much because I'm getting to a point, I'm going to bring out some scriptures. That's why I entitled this show The Big Payback, because it's like a throwback to Apostle Tahar and them show, The Big Payback. That was the name of the show. Okay, and back then, brothers, the editing and all that, when the show would come on, they would show clips of, from movies showing Esau fucking Jacob and slavery, showing Esau fucking up Gad and slavery, you know what I mean? And the James Brown song would play. The Big Payback, Revenge, Get Down With My Woman. They would show clips from different movies of the slavery movies showing the white man fucking us up. But that was the most popular show around. Okay, still to this day. Then we did that show, but then when we moved up to Connecticut, we had the school where that's all we did was videos. We had came up with another show, It's Time to Awake. That was on the public act. Man, we were like celebrities up there in Connecticut because those videos actually aired. Jake was watching it. Esau was watching it. It's Time to Wake Up. Then we had another video of Apostle Ramlab and Elder Sakaran. They did the Spanish show. So we've been doing this. It was called La Pura Verdad, the pure truth. That was Apostle Ramlab and Elder Sakaran show. They did the Spanish show. The show was totally in Spanish. And they was going in. And then I had my own show, which some of you saw. Some of it is floating around on YouTube. The Final American Indian Uprising. I did the Gadite show. I used to film it out in the woods, out in the Beardsley Park. We used to go out into the woods. And that was me and Elder Menazazak show. Okay, so we came from the native, so we were touching all the tribes. You know what I mean? It was bad. And bro, we were filming every day, every week. We'd be at the school just filming videos. Elder Menazazak had to go rent the cameras, and then we did the videos. Then Elder Menazazak would have to go down to the it was called, I believe, Paragon Cable or the cable company, and edit the videos. And we used to actually be in the studio back then. But then the Most High blessed us with this technology till now we don't have to go through all that renting cameras or buying camcorders and cameras no more. Now the Lord blessed us with, that's why it's no excuse now for anybody to do videos. You got your goddamn phone. You can sit right in your living room or wherever. Man, when you're on your lunch break at your job, you can just pull out your cell phone. Wow. And the whole fucking world is seeing us, and we're streaming live. Okay, so anyway, this video is just a throwback to the original video from back in the 90s, the big payback. These devils, Esau, man, like I said, I'll be up. I'm sorry if I did too much talking going into the history, but I just wanted to do that because the title of the video, the big payback, this is a shout out, to Apostle Tahar's old show from the old school, the big payback. Anyways, Esau, man, been doing all this wickedness. You on Facebook, you watch the cops rolling up, killing Jake. You watch old documentaries of slavery. You watch old documentaries of the white man still in our land, still in Native American land, the way they starved our people out, the way they just treated us like they were stomping us out like roaches, man. And they're still doing it to this day. All the wickedness that Esau is doing, raping our women, murdering our children, poisoning us, making us sick by the food, GMO foods and the chemicals they're putting in the air, the chemtrails, turning our men into homosexuals, turning our women into lesbians, like the total destruction. Esau, this devil has embarked upon nothing but a campaign of destruction against the Israelites, man. So that's all cool. We understand why it happened, right? According to the scriptures. We knew we had to pay for our sins, but does not Esau got to pay for his sins? His ass got to pay. He ain't getting away with nothing, man. This devil's going to pay. So I'm just going to bring out a couple of scriptures. Hey, baby, it's cool, but I was sitting there meditating that the Bible says, thy heart shall meditate upon terrors. That's what's going to happen. We're doing that now. So I'm going to jump into these scriptures, man. Okay? And this show, this is a exhortation video and prophecy and judgment. Esau, we're going to pay this devil back by the power of the Lord, man. They're going to fucking pay. You better believe it. This devil ain't getting away with nothing, man. These fucking Edomites, these Karens, calling the cops on Jake, and all the wickedness of every single last one of these goddamn Edomites, from Donald Trump, from the Rothschilds, all the way down to the Karen on the street. They're gonna fucking pay for their shit, man. All that hate and that wickedness they got toward Israel, they're gonna fucking pay for it, bro. So I'm gonna start off right here. Okay, all the wickedness, all the murder, spraying water hoses on Jake, and letting the dogs loose on Jake. They're gonna pay for every last little drop, every last little fucking drop of wickedness, man. This is Obadiah. We're gonna start with Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Now, who was it talking about? Esau, right? You go to the first verse, the vision of Obadiah the prophet, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. So this whole chapter is talking about Esau ass. They're going to be cut off forever, meaning cut off from the rulership. They're going to go into captivity, as the scriptures say, but then after they serve a certain amount of time of captivity, pursuant to Job 20, they're going to be just exterminated. So you Edomites, You think you're gonna exterminate us? You're not gonna exterminate us. You're gonna be exterminated, man. You devils are gonna pay. Y'all gonna serve captivity. You ain't gonna never come into power again. And you're gonna be through, bro. Okay? Now we're gonna jump to Habakkuk 2 and 7. Okay? Yes. Habakkuk 2 and no. Habakkuk 2 and 8. Habakkuk 2 and 8. This is talking about Esau, Babylon, right? Because thou hast spoiled many nations. Who did that? Esau, the so-called white man. He did it. He conquered Israel, but he conquered all the other nations too, and stole their land, and indoctrinated their people, and fucked everybody else up. All right? Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city, and all that dwell therein. You see what I'm saying? That's right. Esau, he spoiled the nations, but really Israel's who we concerned with, men's blood. How did the white man get this land? He stole this land from Native American people. I was just watching a documentary. He was just murdering our people, and the ones of us he didn't murder, he would just take our land and leave us destitute, and then a lot of us and our children would die from starvation. Okay, from here to Canada down to the Caribbean. We would die because we couldn't go out and hunt, because what he did, he killed off all the buffaloes, so we couldn't sustain ourselves, and he told us we had to stay in one piece of land, and if we left, he'd kill us. So then you would just die of starvation when the winter came. You see? Either he shot us with a gun or he would just leave us to wither away. Right? 9th verse, Habakkuk 2 and 9. Woe to him, and woe means destruction. Woe to him that committeth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, pursuing back to Obadiah, though thou set thy nest among the stars, right? The elites, they're in the power. They got the whole earth on lockdown, right? They monitoring everything with their satellites, right? Their cameras, their witchcraft, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. The many people is Israel, us, because we're most high and concerned with the other nations. You took all the tribes down. You took Judah in slavery. You stole Gad in the northern kingdom's land. Okay? Now I'm going to jump to 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. That's right. That's how you devils got this land. That's how you got this land. How? You stole it. You stole it from our people. All right? You slaughtered our people. Right? You fucked us up. Right? You conquered us. You did all these wickedness, man. That's how you got America. Matter of fact, that was it. Those were the two main scriptures that I wanted to bring out right there. So what does the scriptures talk about? Payback. The big payback. So the time is coming where y'all gonna get paid back for that. I read it in the scriptures. So you devils don't think you're gonna rule forever. You're gonna pay. You're gonna be paid back. The Lord is about to raise us up. I just read it in the scriptures, man. So Esau, the so-called white man, he gonna go down. Every last one of these devils, they're gonna drink every last drop, every last morsel of all the wickedness that they have done to us. And the Lord is gonna allow us to get them back. I just read it. Okay? That's the big payback, baby. That's coming, and we're upon that time now. Okay? So with that, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'll be back with another video, and I say shalom.